The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. The apostles gathered together with Jesus and reported all they had done and taught. He said to them, "Come away by yourselves to a deserted place and rest for a while." People were coming and going in great numbers, and they had no opportunity even to eat. So they went off in the boat by themselves to a deserted place. People saw them leaving, and many came to know about it. They hastened there on foot from all the towns and arrived at the place before them. When he disembarked and saw the vast crowd, his heart was moved with pity for them, for they were like sheep without a shepherd, and he began to teach them many things. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
As I read this Gospel this week, I was able to relate a lot to the apostles and what they must have been going through with their excitement coming back to talk with Jesus and tell him all the marvelous things that they were doing. And I recalled that I had the opportunity to sit with my shepherd, my pastor, Father Matt, this past week, at the beginning of the week, and I shared with him all the marvelous things that I was doing. And I was thinking, I'm just like the apostles. I'm out praying with people and setting up beach rosaries for couples and helping couples get ready for baptism for their children and weddings and doing all kinds of great things for the parish. I was just so excited. Father Matt looked at me and he said, "Are you playing golf this week? Because if you are, I'm available to join you." And I thought, oh, that must be his invitation to come and rest with him for a while. So I said, oh yeah, I think we are free. We're going to play on Tuesday night, so you're welcome to come and join us. And so he's like, great. So we went and played a round of golf, and I wouldn't exactly call it restful. A couple of good shots, but other than that, it was unrestful. But we went and had dinner at my home, and we were sitting down, and we were resting and beginning to have a nice conversation, and my phone rang. And I looked at the caller ID, and it was from a local funeral home. And they were calling to ask if there was clergy available to handle a service at the funeral home and then a committal at the grave site next week. And they were like, so are you available? And I was like, well, I have to check my schedule. And I look at my calendar, and I said, oh, I have that day free. I'll put it in there, so we're all set. And so I scheduled it all in, and the gentleman thanked me, and we hung up. And then I looked over at Father Matt, and he was smiling. And I think he was very happy that he was able to continue to rest while the apostle took on one of the other jobs that he usually always says yes to. So it was a blessing. And he said, I'm glad they call you once in a while too. So now calendars are really important. We need to use them to set aside time that we're going to use for serving others and actually some time too for ourselves. Do we actually put in our calendars time to take for ourselves to rest? To take care of ourselves. And recently, Father Matt again came to my office and said, hey, it's been a while since you've preached at Exeter. I've had a lot of messages to say, but he said, are you ready? Can you preach for me one of these upcoming weekends? And I said, yeah, let's take a look. So I flipped through my calendar and I said, hey, this coming weekend is free. There's nothing on it. And he said, great, let's put it down. So we put it in my calendar. Preach, Exeter. 4 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So I'm on the calendar, no problem. Neat thing about these iPhones is that they sync with other people's iPhones if you share your calendars. We've had a pretty busy month, my wife and I. My daughter got married last month, and we've had a lot of different ministries opening up and a lot of things happening. And so when I got home that evening and I saw my wife looking at me kind of funny with her calendar in her hand and her phone, and I was like, uh-oh. And she's like, yeah, I thought we decided we were keeping this weekend open for just us and not putting anything on it. And I was wondering why it was like wide open. There was nothing on there. So it was like very odd to me. And she said, you know what? It's for the Lord, and the Lord knows what's best. And if it means that you serve him in this capacity, then that must be what was meant to be. Not a problem. So I got off on that one, okay. Whew. But I learned that in the future, we want rest, we're going to put that in the calendar. That takes up 2 days. But you think and you say, well, if we had put that in there, it would have been, in a way, selfish reason, that we needed it for ourselves. But this way, we're still ministering to God. And every time that we do, we gain such life energy from that. God is so good to us that every time that we minister, we're filled with regenerative life from him. But we do need physical rest. Most major religions tell us you got to take 1 day a week and rest. And doctors will tell us that. There's scientific proof that resting reduces our stress level and improves our memory. So I need to rest more, so I remember to put it in the calendar. It improves our immune systems. So it's important for us to have days of rest. Scientists even said the best productivity comes from 2 countries in Europe, Germany and France. They give 30 days of vacation to their employees a year. Can you imagine that? Imagine the productivity that would come from this parish if we had that many days. Oof. But it's important to rest. We have to take care of ourselves if we're going to take care of other people. Now, every time you take a flight, they take several minutes at the beginning of the flight to tell you all about the safety features of the plane. They say, make sure you know where the exit signs are. And they say, there's lights in the aisle, and there's over here is safety seats, and safety seats here. If you don't feel comfortable, don't sit there. And they tell you about your seat may be double as a life flotation device. That's not a very comforting feeling. But they also say that if the cabin loses pressure, a mask will drop from above you, from the console above you. Take the mask and stretch the tube, and oxygen will begin flowing. Place the mask over your nose and mouth before attempting to place it over your child or anyone traveling with you that needs assistance. And that image has always been very powerful to me, to just imagine a parent so concerned about their child that they're struggling to put the mask on them and not taking the oxygen they need, and then they're getting dizzy and ready to pass out before they can help the child that really needs their assistance when they're at full capacity. And I often remind people of that. Take time to make sure you're in good shape before you try to minister to others. There's no way you can do it. You just need that oxygen, that life-giving graces that God pours out upon us. We need that to take that time. Today, Jesus invites us to come away with him and rest. And I wonder, what does that look like for you? And I know kind of what it looks like for me. My life has changed significantly since I've become a deacon. Nobody really explained that to me when I was younger. So it's kind of one of those things you got to figure out for yourself. How are you going to grow and allow Jesus to lead you as his shepherd to rest? Do we trust him? And when I began the program, the diaconate program, they told us that you need to first get a spiritual director so you can talk things through and they can direct you as to how to give over of yourself and rest in Jesus so that you become more spiritually mature, that you become more aware of how the Spirit is working in you, and that you can help others do the same. And to be honest with you, I was mowing the lawn this morning and I was listening to Christian music and all the ways that these Christian artists, I decided not to listen to the 80s tunes that I've heard a million times. I just said, let me listen to some Christian music. Maybe it'll inspire me. And the message kept coming back that you are my anchor. You are a good, good Father. You are so good to me. I will rescue you. I will send an army out to rescue you. God is that good, good Father that wants to take care of us. And then I felt the challenge. He says, Eric, you have Father Matt as the shepherd of the parish and Father Bart as the assistant shepherd of the parish, and you're like the junior shepherd of the parish, and you need to invite those members of the parish, your brothers and sisters whom you love so much, to a deeper relationship with Jesus. You need to invite them to that place of rest with him, to go where you may not have gone before or not have dared to go before, to allow him to enter into your heart and draw you ever closer to the Father. It's not easy. We sit and prepare all kinds of ministries and programs, and we call them on-ramps for our parishioners to enter into a deeper relationship with God. And we put them out there for everyone. And we hope that people look at them and say, maybe this is the one. Maybe I should say yes to this one, to this invitation to come to adoration every week, or to go to the beach rosary as a couple, or to be involved in helping with the ministry in the parish. That's how we grow deeper. My spiritual director asks me every time I see him, are you keeping up with your daily prayers that you promised obedience to the bishop to do? I say, yes. And he says, are you praying the rosary regularly? And I say, usually every day on my way to work here. And he said, are you attending, are you getting at least 1 hour of adoration each week with the Lord? And sometimes I say, well, I was called away from ministry this week, but I have a partner that I call and say, are you going to be there? She usually says, yes, she is, and she's so dedicated to be here. But I know when I come away from that hour of adoration that I am so much more filled and ready to minister in a more powerful way. God calls us to our ministries, and he asks us to trust in him. We have a guest room in our home, and my wife put a prayer on the pillow from St. Teresa of Avila. And the prayer says this, and I'll end with this prayer. May today there be peace within. May you trust God that you are exactly where you are meant to be. May you not forget the infinite possibilities that are born of faith. May you use those gifts that you have received and pass on the love that has been given to you. May you be content knowing that you are a child of God. Let this presence settle into your bones and allow your soul the freedom to sing, dance, praise, and love. It is there for each and every one of us.